hang on. Okay. And I'm going to send you the recording tomorrow morning. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So one of the things is whenever you do sessions or you get into this is you can always tell if somebody passed in a bad way, like not so good, because they'll come and they'll hang out with me before the session and you can feel them. It's like if I turned around, I would think they were there. It's weird.
Yeah.
So none of these people are like that, which is great. It also means that they're with you. And so first off, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm not feeling anything. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, great first. And so then I go and I start to meditate. One of the things is I always ask personally my own people that are around me. So either like my dad, he's dead, or my grandfather, everybody's dead, but there's two people that help. And they like help them bring them forward. I don't know, I'm not dead yet, so that's just the only way I can describe it. But so my other grandfather on my mother's side started helping bring in this other woman. And so we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. But another thing is that, especially because I had about 10 or 15 minutes, I was already kind of zoned out already. And so sometimes I like to bust out a thing called a spirit box. And it scares the piss out of me a lot of times because the fact that the answers that I get come through and I can audibly hear them. So I'm used to hearing everything in my head and experiencing it and feeling it that way. And so sometimes I'm like, whoa, and I don't know what all that stuff means. So I got a few things. And so I write it all down. And so we're going to go over and see if any of it makes sense to you. Another thing is like, while they're saying it, especially after you connected, I'll get stuff in the box, but then I'll get like the other half of the narrative in my head. So I'll kind of let you know what that is. It's not going to take a lot of time, but I always find it interesting when they do it that way. And just before I go into that, I just want to show you what it sounds like. Whenever you do it, you have to connect. That's not my whole session, but it's always interesting because when you feel somebody is strong enough around you, and it's hard for them to come through this, it's difficult for some reason. And but if you give them enough energy, or if you give them enough power, then they can. That's my best way of describing it. So all it is it sounds like, come here. Is it on here? Here we go. That's all it sounds like. There's no sounds. There's no words. Yeah. Nothing. And so what happens is it gives this frequency out. It gives this vibration out of just whatever. And they take that and they turn it into words. And so it gets really, really interesting. So let me go over what that is. Actually, let me tell you how I do this first, and then we'll get into it. So for one,
and I'll tell you real quick, I'm so emotional all the time. So I'm going to be crying, even if there's nothing worth crying about.
Is that why I was crying? Oh my God, right now, when I just started getting on this call with you, I was about to tell you, give me a second. I don't know. I had like this overwhelming feeling. You know, when you get that feeling in your throat?
The choked up feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. That was just what
I have it already and nothing's even happened.
I know. No, I had to go because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm happy. That's freaking you. That's you. Oh, me. Okay. So no, we're vibing on that level. So before we get started, so let me kind of tell you a little bit how I do this. So it's just going to be me. I'm going to have this notepad, and normally you're like the first one I've done this for in like months. This is a new one. All I do is scribble the entire time. It kind of makes just my brain go out in la la land, and so my body doesn't get anxiety. Another thing is that people ask, how do you get messages, or how does this work? So this is the most intense game of like pictogram and put 10 bits of information together and try to figure out a story behind it. So I will get signs and symbols that mean something to me. And there are thousands of them. Here's like a little tidbit, especially if somebody only speaks in signs and symbols. So I'll get like our Hershey's chocolate bar. I'll get Cuba. I'll get like the shape of Cuba. And then I'll get like 1982. And I'm like, for you're like, what does that mean? That means there was a dog named Cuba that lived in Pennsylvania that was born or died in 1982. That's what that means to me. Okay, that's what that means. And so I've created these symbols, and so it tells the story. Another thing, though, that they'll put feelings and emotions in with it. So whereas a lot of times I'll get a white balloon, which means, oh my God, there's an anniversary, like, and it's happening within the week, not like 6 months from now, like within the week. Yeah. But then they put a really sad feeling with it. So now it's a death anniversary. So then they'll put all these feelings with those signs and symbols. And so it's like, Another thing is that they will put me in different situations and scenarios and try to make me relive it, re-see it, re-experience it like through your eyes. So like what was happening, what were people doing, how, and sometimes I'll be like, you weren't in the house, but there was a gentleman that feels like your mom's brother that was arguing with her right before she died. And it's like, it's me getting it and being like, okay, you're right, you're saying this. And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, and then the last one, which is my personal favorite because it's easy for me, is that I will get words and phrases that will just show up in my head and I go, oh, okay. And I tell you what they are.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's my favorite, but not everybody can talk like that. There is somebody here that can. And so we'll go over that too. So let me tell you about what I got a little bit. It's just a little bit. It's nothing crazy. So one of the things is there is there a grandfather that is also gone as well? That made okay. So the first thing, I know you only sent me 3, but the first thing that came out was a gentleman's voice. It was very kind. You could tell he was older in just the crackliness of it. And it said Jenna. And I was like, Jenna. And so I wrote down, I said, grandfather, ? Like said her name. I'm like, okay, so this is here for you. Another person said, I said, what are you doing? How are you? And I don't know, this is just, they said it's freedom from everything. And they specifically talked about pain. And so freedom from pain, freedom from, it's just like this, what went along with it were these feelings of like, so it's just like, I'm so happy. I'm so relieved. So that's another thing. They were talking about having a party. So for me, that either means somebody just had a party or that means somebody just recently died. That would be the other thing, because they always talk about having parties when somebody dies, or they talk about parties when literally somebody had a birthday. So I don't know. Those are the only times they talk about it. Another thing was did somebody have cancer hardcore?
Yeah.
Okay, don't tell me anymore, because somebody said I was a warrior. Or you can't really say it. Said I was a warrior, and for me, my dad used to call me a warrior, and I used to call him because I survived cancer and he did too. So he didn't at the end, but the other bout, and so they said I am a warrior, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll write that down. Somebody did we call? This is, I don't know, because remember this is on Word, so this could go for somebody else too. This is where I just wrote question marks about it. Did we call somebody Pop?
So my grandpa on my dad's side, I called him grandpa, but my dad forever, anytime he references his dad to us, he calls him Pap, but none of us ever called him that. Only my dad did, as if he wanted us to have that name for him. But so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They kept saying Pop, P-O-P, like grandpa. Like Pop, and I'm like, okay, so somebody's talking about that. That was after the I'm a warrior thing. Another person kept talking about a clinic. Somebody else kept talking about they literally said, here's her dog. I don't know, that was a thing. And so I'm like, okay, here's her dog, give me more. So they're trying to bring people through, I don't know, or things. Well, animals are still like people, bodies. Another thing is said, there was a younger gentleman, I think this was Rob, at first, because I was asking him what happened. And he's walking around and he's clapping his hands. So kind of I don't want to go back and do that. I don't want to get back into that. And he says, it's complicated, Amie. I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, we'll talk about it later. So that was his initial thing. And I'm like, okay, but he's really, really nice. He's really, really fun. It was just almost it was hard. Whatever it was really hard. We couldn't go into it. And so we'll get back into it. Who will? Another thing is somebody said cars, the bigger the sound, the better they are. Somebody kept talking about the bigger the sound, and they kept making me hear very annoying, and I'm like, I hate that sound, but thank you for letting me hear it. That's the thing. And somebody else, I think this is Rob again, he came up to me and he gave me a handshake with a snap at the end of it, one of those where they go that thing, the hardcore ones. And I'm like, all right, hey, what's going on? So we're making a connection, we're bringing it forward. They're doing it. And in any way, have I ever channeled Lydia before?
Lydia?
Yeah.
Wait, have you channeled her?
Yeah, she's been around me.
Really?
Uh-huh. And I don't know why. And I started feeling her. And this woman, I don't say that. That's not a thing. She's been around me. She's been around me before. And that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, have I channeled her? Is this just somebody that's been hanging around me trying to get to you? And so that will happen. But she's very proud. She's very nice. It's funny because she's kind of cynical in a great way, because when she smiles, she has that smile with her eyes. It's like, I really don't care. Like, like that. I'm like, oh, hi. You know, she's smooth. She likes to be number one in her area. She doesn't like people to tell her what to do, even though she likes to feel like she's really, really sweet. She is. And then this, oh God, we'll get into it. Okay, let me put on my headphones. And there's so many things. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I'm ready.
Me too. Okay, I'm gonna put in my headphones. I'm gonna zone out. You're gonna see me kind of just looking around at nothing. And it's so I'm not, if I focus on you, then I'm focusing on like how great your hair looks. Look at the cool plant in the back. I'm, and ADHD won't let me do that. So let me put on my music that I have going on that I always do. Today's the Gladiator theme. And I do. It's either Oceans, like instrumental, or it's the Interstellar theme. It's constant droning. And so it just allows my brain to pick it up and everything else to flow through. Hang on. Let me see if I can get my grandfather back here to bring him forward. Hang on. Oh, there he is. Okay, because he is with you. Okay, so we're gonna go with Rob first. We're just gonna hit it there because the first thing he says, he like laughs at you. He says like, "What's up, baby?" Like laughing about it, like that. Says that. Hang on. Happy. I'm good. Now we don't have to talk about that shit. Hold on. He keeps going like, I'm the hero, I'm the best or something. Very obviously he's not afraid. He's not a very tall guy. Hang on. He stands up next to me. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, so we're like sizing each other up. Hold on. He comes up and he gives you a hug, and then he gives you a kiss on the side of your cheek. So that means I'm really like emotionally close to you, and I love you, and like you're one of my dude. This is weird. It's like a love thing, but it's like you're his sister in a way. It's interesting. Who is this person to you?
He was one of my really close friends for many, many years. We met through mutual friends, but we never lived in the same area, but we would talk all the time, and we became so close. And he ended up getting really sick, and we would always joke that we were going to get married one day, but we were like, it's funny because it was like we were best friends, but and we never got romantic with each other, but we always said we were going to marry each other.
Yes, that's how this feels. That it's just like it's like you're my soulmate. But that's why I was like, there's a lot of love here, but there's not this sexy like like that thing. And I love it. And I know you're not related because that's not that bond. But it's like, I'm your brother, that's my sister, and I love you, and I'm okay with being born. And he tells me you're beautiful. He says, man, I would have had a beautiful girl. I had a beautiful girl. I said, I know. And he's like, I'm not that bad looking either. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're a fly. He says he was really feeling down. He's like, you're the one he could go to. You're the one that he could do. You're the only one that it's almost like you were home. He could hang his hat there. Like that's the whole thing. He says that, hang on. He's talking about, I guess when he's getting sick, he kept telling you like, no, he didn't need anything, or no, it wasn't a thing. And he says like, he wishes he would have said yes so that you would have been able to have those memories to like care about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could have done more. That's weird. That's an interesting, I've never had that symbol before. I'm guess one to feel proud. I was like, that's why you're coming off as that right now. Oh my God, wait. you still have his voicemails? Do you have his voicemails?
I have, it's not voicemails, but I have so many texts, and that like he passed away years ago. Like I was in college, and so it's not like we were prominent with like texting. It was more like on the computer, like AIM style, like iMessage. And then I not long ago went on his Facebook.
He does have a Facebook still.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Okay. That I was just, oh shit. Okay, let me tell you about that. So one of the first things I got from him, I knew that he had passed a long time ago because of how clearly he was talking. And I'm arguing with him in my head, and he goes, "Man, I still have a Facebook." And I'm like, no, you don't. No, that's not a thing. Like they get rid of that within the first 3 or 4 months. Like I talked to thousands of people. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so you bring that up. No shit. Okay, tell me about that. Sorry, I just myself.
No, I love it. I decided, you know how like on Facebook you can like go to someone's page and then you can select like see friendship so that you can see how the two of you have interacted.
Yeah.
I did that one day, and I just went in this black hole of like reading like things we wrote on each other's walls, because that's when you would still write on walls and everything.
Yeah.
And I started screenshotting all of them, and I made an entire folder on my computer of just screenshots of things that we communicated about over there, because I didn't want to ever lose that if for some reason his got deleted one day.
It will. Oh my God. And I think that's going to happen soon. And just because that's why they bring it up, and he keeps making, the only reason I asked about the whole, like, do you have voicemails, is because he has me, like, you reading things in his voice and hearing how he would say it in his voice.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. So you're not just reading something, you're getting the inflections, you're getting the pauses, you're getting the, okay. So know that he's with you during all that. The Facebook thing, man.
And you know, there was a phone call that we had together that there was literally nothing special about this phone call, but I think about it all the time. Like I remember I was in my car, and I remember where I was driving and the exit I was taking as we were in mid conversation about something. And when I say it was like not a special conversation, it really wasn't. But for some reason, I think about that specific one in his voice all the time.
Really? Yeah. So that's part of him. Just A, you think about it because he puts it in your head. That's the thing. B, I think another thing, I've had this happen once or twice before with a person. And I think a lot of it is them just coming up and showing you that they're just around you in normal times too, right? It doesn't have to be something special. It doesn't have to be a death or a birthday. It can just be, hey, talk to me normally in the car. Like that's the whole thing. And so hold on, wait, was it like 2008, 2009? When was all this?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely around then.
Okay. Because he's putting around when I was dating my ex-husband. Sorry. That was just, I was like, when is this? When is the time frame? And he puts
time
me
reference,
in that.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it. It's a reference. Hold on. He's like, he's messing with you with how boring and comfortable you get. And like how you wear fuzzy socks and stuff like that. And how everything is in like a neutral tan or like sage green and like all of like, I guess, but I mean, it's okay. This is my consistent color. Brown, okay.
Green sweater.
Yeah, exactly. And he like that sage color, and he's talking, he like has me with you like with like a bowl of cereal and a I don't know, in a metal spoon and like fuzzy socks hanging on your bed. It's really, really weird. He's like making fun of it. He's talking about got dressed up for me, got fancy for me. I'm like, stop.
You know, so funny is before this call, I was thinking to myself, oh, I should get dressed up. And I'm like, why did I get dressed up? It's just this, like, I mean, it's not like he's going to be like actually like in front of me here. And so I didn't change. And I thought I should have gotten dressed up.
Okay. Because he keeps going, oh, I see you got dressed up.
Thinking
you have fun. Okay, so know that he's around you at that point. Like I see that dressed up for me. No wonder. Okay, they do that. They do that. Oh my God. He's talking about, man, you're so calm now. I want to look at your chart. He just like has you in like this hipster state in my head all the time with like this chill music and like hanging plants and like stuff like that. But then he talks about you. I guess you may have, now you're looking at, you're like, oh shit, I do have hanging plants. And now he turns it around and he talks about you having like this wild rock side about you and how it's like like the devil's pedal and everything. Yes. He's like, don't let her fool you. And I'm like, okay. And oh, that is so sweet. Okay. So was he like a country person kind of a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. He talks about, he goes like this, just be in my head with me. Oh, I'm gonna cry. He puts himself outside and you outside with all these like folding chairs with like the cup holders in it, and he puts like a campfire or a bonfire and he puts on this country music, and then he like stands up and he dances with it. Talking about how that would be a thing and how you would be shy, but he would be like, we can both look stupid together. And oh, that's so sweet. Sorry. I was like, wow, we went from like hipster to rock and he's busting out this country campfire scene. I'm like, oh, he's like, that's my girl. That's my girl. Of course I'll be here. Of course I'll be here. Hang on. What? You haven't gone to see him?
I not towards the end. I only went to visit him when we thought he was in remission.
Yeah. Oh, so he's the one that had cancer. He's the one that had the cancer.
Mm-hmm. And it was bad. It was really bad.
He was walking around pacing earlier with an IV hanging out of his arm, and I knew something was up. And he doesn't want you to remember him passing. He doesn't want you to remember him as like a marker in the ground. He doesn't want you to he says he has enough people crying over him or had enough people crying over him. He says that he likes your place. He says, man, you have a nice place. He said he like hangs out. He's such a kid. So in my head, if I wasn't wearing a dress, I'd have to show you. Just because I don't pull it down. He goes and he like sits on the edge of like what would be your bed. I guess you have a platform bed or something that's low to the ground. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Okay, because he's not up high. He's down lower, and he keeps like lifting his legs up and putting them on the floor. And lifting them up. When he's being a kid, he's just like, I'm here. Do you see this? And do you have a cat that sleeps on your bed?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. He's like sitting there and he has it like this, and he's making me see through his eyes. And he turns and I see one like in the middle, and he's like, hey, he's like talking to this animal. And I'm like, okay. And he like, hold on. He says, he's the one that made you come here. He said, he's the one that made you come here. That's interesting. They'll talk about that. He goes, what do you think? He's very cocky and he's fun. He's like, he's like, tell her this. I go, what? He goes, tell her I'm the one that made her come here. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's talking about how he's like, you're good. Yeah, me and you, we vibe together. I'm like, we do vibe together. That's why you're in my head right now. Hang on. Are you? He says, never got that piece for me. I don't know what that means. Hang on. Were you going to get like a large tattoo for him? But
I thought about getting one for him, but then I knew he would think that was stupid.
Okay. So that's him joshing with you. He goes, never got that piece for me. Ha. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's why I'm like, she has it. Hang on. Says that. I gotta look at y'all's charts. He says, don't tattoo up that beautiful body of yours, quote unquote. And I'm like, well, thanks. Stop being creepy right now. Says that, hang on, where? He just said, eat some meat. He's talking about eating literally meat, like ribs and steak and stuff like that. That's what he's talking about. Hold on. you're like really focused on the good stuff for the environment, stuff like that. I want to know where he's from. Where, hold on. He's like more my neck of the woods. Okay, so you must be somewhere up east, up northeast. Because he keeps talking about how, show me, are you in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Okay, they showed me a Hershey's chocolate bar. That's my sign for Hershey's, Pennsylvania. Okay, so that's why he keeps talking about. Is he from like Tennessee or Georgia? Where is he from?
He's from Erie, Pennsylvania, but it is like he was from like the country area of Erie. Yeah.
Okay, I never think of Pennsylvania as being country.
I know. We joked when I went to visit him that it was like city girl in the country, because I was just so like, oh my God, the bugs, and like it was all this stuff, and it was like a big joke that it was like pure country compared to like me being there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, where I've never been to the full on. I went up to the mountains. My dad's from like little mountain towns up there, but I've never been out to the hardcore country. And he has me playing like Chattanooga, Tennessee, like, and I'm like, what is going on? You don't have that type of accent. Hold on. He like tucks you into bed. He gives you a kiss on your forehead. This guy is not just, hang on. Do you just see him in your dreams and like you wave hi to him or something like that? And like, that's it?
I've seen him in my dreams a couple times. I talk to him out loud all the time. And I always tell him like I want him to visit me in my dreams more.
He's trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to. He goes up and I go, do you visit her? What is this? And he talks about hopping in there, but he talks about how he just like says hi. And so there's a couple of things for that. One, he's trying to. Two, he's talking about just being around you. Obviously, he's on your bed with your cat. That's a whole other thing. So don't ever, but it's hard for them to get into, especially if you, do you take a sleeping aid now?
I don't, not anymore. I used to.
You did. Okay. He talks about how it was hard with the sleeping aid, or it was hard with this. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. Hold on. You don't get the panic attacks anymore, or you still do?
Oh my God. Not like I used to. I still do every so often, but they're definitely more under control now.
Okay, he talks about you being like, and he's talking about how he like tries to bring this down. Man, that makes you, whoa, that's a terrible, just like that half of a second of that feeling was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you can't get away from it. I'm gonna see if he can bring other people in too. Hang on. Lydia is a grandmother of yours? Okay. He goes, come on, Miss Lydia. Come on, Miss Lydia. Come on in here and talk to your granddaughter. Don't you love her? I can. And like, she looks at him like this. Like just this overwhelming, what the hell type of look. But then she has like this little smirk about her. Hang on. Lydia keeps making me do her hair over and over again. She keeps like forming it up. She says, hang on. She has like bright pink nails in my head. I have no idea why. Like that's the thing right now.
She always had her nails painted.
Always. Like she keeps talking about this and she turns them different colors. And I go, okay. She goes, I tried to keep things nice. She's a very different feel. Your guy is one of your guys. Your guy is one of your guys all the way, because he loves you. I want to look at y'all's charts too. I want to see why this connection is so deep too. Hang on. She says, like, of course I love my granddaughter, but we all get to choose our path. She said that she wasn't able to be around you as often as she would like, or often as would like, because she keeps talking about that. I wasn't able to be around as often as I would like. I don't know if she has like this regal accent in my head. I know she does not naturally, but that's how she comes across. She has like this almost like type of thing. It's almost like were people trying to take her money or the little bit that she had left, because she has a
Yeah.
she has this little clutch purse with her in my head, and she keeps her hands on it. And yeah, so for me, that means that people are trying to take from her, and she's still kind of taking on that. She's talking about, I guess people thought her mind was gone or something. I don't know, or like they didn't.
She had Alzheimer's.
Really?
Yeah.
Go home, not you, them. she see that whole thing, like I don't even know what's going on. And she goes like this, which is like my mind was gone. She doesn't like what she turned into. She's talking about like an old hag with a breathing problem. I tell her she's not. She says many years. She said, I thought people all but forgot about me. They came to pay their dues. That's what she says. That's exactly how she found it sounds in my head. They ended up having to put her in a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says like people, she's taking me on this road in my head right now. And she says people had to pay their dues. And she says like, God, there's so many things. I forget like half of them. She's talking about people taking care of her. She's like this worry, and then how people are having to like lift her up to bathe her, and how they had to put her in this home, and how she just became this frail thing, and how she didn't like these people that were taking care of her and touching her, but she couldn't say anything or do anything about it. She's very irritated with it, and she doesn't like that people are just coming in like they need to, and she says she loves you. She loves you. She says, like, I didn't want to scare you. She says that her death it's better this way. Man, wait. She says that she came from a line of very proud people. I go, really? Tell me more about it.
She did. I'm 100% Italian. All of my grandparents are Italian, but her, like the pride of being Italian was just everything. And she, like, that's all like they would talk about. It was always about like coming over to America, because it was just her parents were the first in America and then her. So it definitely like that lines up for sure.
Huge thing. I'm from a line, very proud people.
Yes.
Like, oh, no wonder. It's interesting that she's not loud like my normal Italians. She isn't in my head. She's
she wasn't a loud person.
Yeah.
It was like Italian as fuck, but she was not a loud one. I think we got all those genes.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, that's why I'm like, my sign for Italian is somebody coming in and being loud and talking with her hands. And she's not. She's poised. She feels almost like she could have been royalty. It's weird. Like, that's what this regal type of thing is. She cooks. We don't like to get our hands dirty.
Yes.
I cook. I don't like to get my hands dirty though. She's like trying to make pasta and stuff with nails. That's very, very hard. And it's, hold on. I love, she shows me her little weathered hands and how much she knows. Hang on. The last time she remembers you, it's like, when she keeps putting you as like this little girl, like 16, 15, stuff like that in my head over and over and over again.
I was around that age when she started getting sick. Yeah. And so I feel like that would make sense because by the time she passed, she didn't remember who I was.
Not at all. No, yeah, she keeps, but these are, whenever they do that, it's them remembering you and who you were and at your best moments with them. And she just keeps having you at like 15, 16, 14, like right around there. And she just keeps showing like how pretty you are. You were really, really skinny.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was not the Italian way, but yeah, it was really.
Yes. Okay, I was a fat kid growing up, and so I was asking. I was like, "Man, would like the Italian because we're Russian Jews." But I was like, with the Italian side, like, man, how was she when she was younger? And she put you like in these tiny little shorts and this little beige shirt, and like
Yes.
really tan, and like you look really good in hot pink and purple, like that whole thing. And she keeps putting you in, and she in like that mint green color. She, hang on. She loves you, she adores you, but she's very busy with like other people all the time. Like we're around telling people what to do. There's specifically, I'm guessing maybe she had a son, I don't know, or something like that. There's like some sort of man that she hangs around with too. We'll go into that, or like telling him what to do. She's doing that in my head right now. She's telling this guy what to do. I don't know why. And it's almost like we're the head of this household. There's all these things running around. There's all these people running around, and I have to tell them and everybody else what to do.
Yeah.
And she keeps putting like a reddish, maybe it's like an azalea flower, like in my hair, like giving it to people.
Really?
Yeah. I don't, why? What is up with that?
There's a picture of her with a flower in her hair that we have.
Really?
And I'm almost positive it's a red one. I'm almost positive.
Okay, if you can look, let me know, because there's reasons all this. She gets this flower and she just puts it in my hair like this. And so I bet she's trying to like reference that. And how, oh my God, hang on. They came from an actual village though, like in Italy. Okay, she says, I go back to my village, and she's showing me like these different stone structures and like how beautiful. And that's where she likes these really bright, pretty flowers, because everything else is pretty dry. Hang on. They made it. She's talking about her family. They came over here and they made it. It's almost like they were farmers. I don't know. It's weird. Or like they were on that other echelon. Did she have like a younger brother that died when he was little? Do you know?
She had a brother, but he didn't die when he was younger. He died when he was older, but I don't think so though.
Yeah. I don't know. She keeps referencing like this kid. And for me, the only thing I know is like a brother, because it would be in her generation, but it's younger than her. And so I'm like, does she have a younger brother that actually is dead? Did she have a brother that died younger? Or is she just trying to show me that her younger brother is there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So just put that in the back burner. See if you can find something out about that.
I'll definitely ask my mom about that.
Yeah. Wait, where? She shows your mother. She says, don't get so frazzled. She shows the mother like that. And does your mother wear glasses yet?
Yes.
Okay, cool. She goes like this. She has your mother being frazzled, and she has her like push them up. You know how they do it with the nose thing? And she's talking about like being there and like trying to, like, to her, she puts her little hand here. Your mom was key in like doing the care and everything like with her at the end. Okay. Because she goes up and she does this, and there's always another thing. And then she shows herself being in this hospital, and she says, you took good care of me. So please let her know that, especially if she's having any questions or anything like that on that. Please, like that is a huge thing. She goes, your mom is also at a crossroads on what she needs to do or what she should do, wants to do. Her and your dad are still married?
Yeah.
Okay. She says, man, your mom is really smart. Was your mom ever in like educating or like teaching people or like yelling at people in a good way to teach them?
She wasn't, but she is like very keen on like, I don't even know how to say it. Like she's always like educated herself. she could never afford to go to college. Like her family couldn't. So she's always taken upon herself to like learn things, or like always just like whatever it was to like learn
everything. Okay. She keeps getting her, like, the only reason I asked that, she keeps telling her like she's doing a good job at this, but she keeps having her open a book with these glasses on and how she's learning. She's really getting into, she's getting to know everything, the ifs, ands, or buts. And it's almost like, and she talks about with your father, like she follows him around, or like she followed him around, you know, I don't know. So she's talking about how she needs to go out and do something on her own, I guess, now that she isn't just a mom anymore. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know what's going on with your mom. I don't know if she's been checked. Either something is going on or could happen with either her heart or a lung or the left breast. That's it. It's because it's all, she keeps doing this and the heart is there. There's a lung there, but this is also a breast. And so I'm like, what is this? But your mom like won't take time to go get herself checked out. So she needs to go do that. Hang on. We're not dying from it though, just FYI. This is just like something about, you know, oh, I should do that. Like somebody, my father came down, he's dead, but had a session for a second and talked about my mother. And he talked about how for a second when I was channeling him, he kept showing me an image of like her kidney decaying. And I'm like, this is really weird. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to die of kidney failure. So I called my mother. She went into the, to her doctor. She made an appointment a couple weeks later. Anyway, she had no idea. She thought her pain in her back was just her back and it was her kidney stones.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's never had kidney stones before, but she kept complaining. She's one of these women that now lives on her own and she's like, I can handle it. I'll just take a Motrin. It's not a big deal. Yes. She had kidney stones the entire time. I was like, Mom,
oh my God. I'll tell my mom for sure because breast cancer runs in our family.
Does it?
Yeah. So okay. I'm definitely going to tell her.
Okay, just this doesn't mean we're dying from it. This just means keep a watchful eye. I had another session just so you can show her this so she doesn't freak out, because a lot of people do. I had a session with a gentleman and they kept talking about he needs to watch his heart, but it was all specifically his heart and how he needs to go in and get it checked. And anyways, 4 months later, he is this guy from Cambodia. He owns a donut shop. He doesn't eat them. He's super healthy. He's skinny. Anyways, he had a heart attack. He had a massive heart attack. He had a massive heart attack in his shop.
Oh my God.
And his mother was coming down and saying that. And he was like, Amie, I had all the signs. They kept asking me about it. And I just wasn't going in. And he's like, I have to have another session. He emailed me. And I was like, oh, you almost died. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So just watch. Just have her.
I'm definitely going to tell her that then.
Pay attention. It just, what that means is it can just like put a bump in the road for you. So instead of smooth sailing, you're like, oh shit. And then you go back to it. So she's not dying. Hang on. Your friend Rob said to tell your mother he's going to marry his daughter when you get to heaven. So that's just another. I was like, anything else that you want to tell mom right now? And like he pops in there and says that. He says, do you wear mom jeans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, what else do you want to talk about? He tells her she looks good in the mom jeans. I can't wear them.
That's hilarious. The kind that I bought were always called the girlfriend jean. And I just said to my friend the other day, I went to buy a new pair and they now call them the mom jean. I was like, so now I'm wearing the
mom jeans. Okay. Yeah, he's like, look good in the mom jeans. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think she does. She's from my generation, but you do. Okay, cool. Hang on. Oh my God, that's so weird. I have too many scars on my abdomen, so it hurts when it gets close. I'm very excited about the low rise jeans coming back, but.
Oh yeah.
I have a few pair. I'm busting them out already. I'm like, we're here for it. I got my flares and my low rise. We're so early 2000s. Hang on, I want to go over here. I want to grab. Where are you going? It's funny. She goes like this. She goes.
Oh.
She's like very kind about it. You can see her little hands, and she's here. How long ago did she pass?
Lydia passed. Let me think. It was 2012.
Really?
Oh wait, no, 2011. 2011.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, she's gone for a while. She's ironing clothes.
Right.
Yeah, she's ironing clothes. I said, what are you doing? And she's showing me pressing clothes. I go, okay. She had to watch her husband die. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I said, what was the saddest thing of your life? She says, having to watch my husband die. I go, no. She says that, oh, I'm gonna cry right now. Hang on. Hold it. Hold it. Keep it together, Amie. Hang on. Keep it together. If I start, what happened to him? She loved him. She didn't know where to turn, where to run. He left, like that was her whole everything. And gosh, she felt so bewildered. Hang on. She tried to do everything for him. Hang on. She's like begging with him. He should have gone to the doctor beforehand or something like that, or should have like done. She's like, I kept begging him. I kept begging him, and he wouldn't. He wouldn't. She says that. Talk to your mom. Do you know how many years I had to suffer without your father? Says that. She says that she didn't love him. She goes, oh, I loved him. Was he military? The father? Cool. Okay, sorry. She just like put Pearl Harbor in my head. Like that. Like a military picture from them sepia. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
She's been with me for a long time, girl. Or this is deja vu, and I'm just getting it all right. I don't know. This is a weird thing.
I love that.
Right? Oh, hang on. What happened? She has this curly hair. She's like changing herself back down, and it's here.
Yeah.
And she's just like with him, and she changes them down to like the 40s or the 50s,
Yes.
like that age, and they're happy. And your grandfather was probably a player there for a little bit too, because she's talking about how she had run them off, and I'm like,
yes.
Oh God, yes. I'm so sorry. And she's like, okay. She says, I choose to live here. I think this is her heaven. I think the 50s, the early 50s in that area. Hang on, when was she born? Hang on. She's older than my father. So she was born before 35.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad was born in 1935. So I always judge everything off of that. Yeah, I'm 33 and he was born in 35. You do the math.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom is 21 years younger than him.
Oh my God, get it, girl.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I know. So I'm the product of something majestic and a player. That's what I always say. Hold on. I think they're on an island. She says we always love the island. I don't get it. She goes to the village. She's on an island. She's just happy with him. They're okay. And she talks about him. What happened? Hang on. She was there with him when he passed, wasn't she? She's talking about letting him go and says, I'll be there with you. I'll be there with you. And about, she's like making, this is very vivid in my head. She is so stubborn. She said, so she says, tell your mom I found the father, right? Tell your mom I found the father. She says that she pokes at your father, and she says to tell him, love her. Like love the mother, love her.
Yeah.
Like get into that. So that's like a thing. She's fine. Don't worry about her.
Good.
She's happy. Oh, that's cool. I haven't had a vision of like where their heaven was in a little bit. That's cool that they brought me there. Yeah,
so their heaven is more of like that era of like where they were whenever they like when they were younger.
Yeah, and sometimes it's certain rooms, sometimes it's with people, sometimes it's certain states. Like I had a gentleman a couple of days ago. He showed me my sign for Canada, which is the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. That's my sign. And he shows me Canada, and he brings me into this all wood house, but like almost like a cabin, but it's a lot smaller. And then he has an ice lake. underneath him. And anyways, and he's just in there like drinking coffee, all this stuff. Anyways, he was a professional ice fisherman, and
No way.
he had a little ice hut that was a little cabin with a hole in the bottom of it to ice fish. And so
Oh my
that
God.
was his heaven while he's
I
waiting
love
for his
that.
wife.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's just like it's the best way for me to describe it is almost, have you ever seen the movie What Dreams May Come?
No, but I know of it.
Okay, you need to watch that. And I do this for forever. And then I heard about that movie and I watched it. And when I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like what I'm experiencing in my head. It's the craziest thing. Even the darker place, when you watch that part, that's what it feels like. It's cold, and they do a really good job. Okay, let me go. I want to see if I can get, hang on. Oh, here she is. She's louder. She's louder. Hang on. She like walks interesting. This other woman, she shows up. I don't know if we had a leg problem or if we had a hip problem or something like that. Because when she walks in and she's like, oh, we're fine. I'm fine here. She's like, I'm like, okay, cool. This is the one my grandfather was helping bring in earlier. She says, a sweet girl talks about you. So this must be dad's mother or something like that. This, okay, comes in and talks about you and how much we love you. Says that, hang on. Her husband's gone too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. She says, I have the man too. I go, okay, cool. She says, oh, I don't have to worry about me. Hang on. They took good care of him. So he passed after her?
He passed actually 12 days before her.
Really? So they were around. Oh,
yeah.
So okay. So y'all both took care of them. No wonder. Hang on. Was his death a surprise and hers wasn't?
It was vice versa.
Vice versa.
His
okay.
was expected, and then hers was very unexpected, but it was only 12 days after.
Okay. She goes, I said, what happened with this? How did this go? I'm like, were you both chronically ill? Like, what is that? And she goes, she makes one as being like, okay, we're dying. And then the other one is like, oh my God, you know?
That was exactly it.
That poor, wait. Hey, you gotta let him go sometime. This other woman, hang on. Oh. Did she grow up around a farm?
Let me think. She did not. I actually don't know where she properly grew up. I have to actually ask my dad about that, because I know where like the two of them raised their family, but I don't know where she actually grew up.
Okay, only reason I asked that is because she keeps showing me dairy cows. And for me, I'm like, okay, are we farm? But then it almost feels like, maybe the suburbs, that was the thing. Because she keeps having this more simple, relaxed, chilled life. That's why I'm like, were we there? Because maybe that's a version of it. Wait, what? She said, I didn't give them any time at all. I didn't give them any closure at all. You blinked, you missed me. So I was laughing about. She goes, they were trying to bring her back. So people were trying to bring her back or something. Was it really hard for your dad to be there with her passing?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She says, like, couldn't make it up for your old mom, like makes a joke about it. And that's why I'm like, it must have been difficult. She talks about her pain in her back and her hips. She says, still has these issues, she's like getting away from it. She likes your dad. She says he's a good boy.
My dad was he was one of 8. And he was the one who was like the most involved with my grandparents as they got older. But you saying the whole, you couldn't come around for your own mom.
Yeah.
I feel like my dad's 2 brothers didn't come home for either of their funerals. Just for like, it's not like a fight ever happened or anything. It was just, they just didn't come. And it was like, it was awful. And it was like And I asked my dad, like, did something happen like that I don't know about? And he was like, no, they just always resented my
You're
parents.
really
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because they love your father. They love him. Your mother, I would feel in my head that your dad was the only son and oldest and the best. That's how she props him up.
Yeah.
And so I think she definitely is talking about the other ones. There's nothing, she's like, couldn't even make it for this, da da da. She talks to you. She's like, glad to have you, glad to have you. She loves you. She's very handsy with you. She's very nice. She's really, yeah, she is. So she's all into the whole, come on, give me a hug.
Yes.
Just you can feel it. I can feel her shirt on my shirt. She's like, oh, do this, do this. Oh my God. She has a smile. She has little bitty teeth when she smiles. Hold on. She's like having ice cream. She's eating ice cream. That's so random. Wait. It's interesting because she's such a late, she's a woman, but I almost feel like she should sit there with like a cigar and scotch in her hand and like
so accurate.
and be like this badass. Like I want her to like have a highball glass of scotch and talk to me. That's how she feels. And that's awesome. Yeah, that's her energy. She's just like no holds bar, shoot the shit. Let's talk about this. That's how she feels. Oh, she's so much different than your other grandmother. I love
so different.
Oh my God. It's like she pokes fun at her, like, oh, she doesn't have to be so stuck up. And I'm like, stop. She's not. She's Italian. She says that. Oh my God. Wait, what? She talks to your dad. She goes, oh, I know we tried everything, but hindsight's 20. She does all of these intense facial features. She jokes about not needing glasses anymore. She takes them off and throws them off. So she was like almost blind or something, or it was really, really hard for her to see. She had like intense vision things. She says she like goes up to this gentleman. So that's this grandfather thing. And she pats him and she's like, oh, I got him. I'm taking care of him. He can't be lost without me. Oh my God. She says, talks to your father. She says, sometimes we come down and we check on you and we see what you're doing, says, hang on, your dad's inside a whole lot. He's not an outdoor person.
Oh my God. He's inside all the time.
All the time. She keeps talking about, why don't you go to a garage or why don't you do something like that? And she's seeing him mess on our phone or mess on our phone or our computer or whatever it is.
Yes.
And she's just like, can you go and like do that?
Oh my God. Yeah.
She makes a joke about what does he do? Nothing. And I'm like, stop. He works, he does stuff, but he's always inside constantly. She says, get outside, get a little fresh air, take a trip. She says, hang on. Y'all have pictures of her in their living room? Like
they're in the house, but they're not in the living room, but we have pictures of her.
Perfect. Okay. She keeps talking about like sitting up there smiling at everybody and she can see it. And like, I'm like, okay, cool. So they talk, she likes that. Do they have really big furniture? Do your parents have really big furniture?
They do.
Okay.
Actually,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. She's talking about sitting in this chair that's like way too big for her. Maybe she was just a tiny lady and she's like, oh,
it's a huge chair.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm asking her where she's at. She talks about that. Hold on. She jokes with you. She loves you, but she talks about our friend Rob and she says, well, I think you got yourself an angel. Okay. So you have it all the way around. You have it all the way around. Yeah, they are fun. I love this lady. So analytical. She's so analytical and she's funny and hold on. Did she get like pneumonia and then it took a turn for a worse and went like heart failure or what happened?
When my grandpa died, which we were like anticipating.
Yeah.
The day after he died, we found out she had leukemia.
Oh, no.
And then it like so quickly, it was 12 days later, she died.
Yeah, she calls, she goes, I go, what happened to you? And she shows me almost like if you had a sepsis infection from pneumonia, right? And it goes all through your body and it hurts. And she's like, and that was it. And she makes me feel, and then gone. Oh my God. It's because they had to be together. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It's because whenever they go, that was her soul group. He left. He wouldn't know what the hell to do without her. She's the one that told him what to do all the time. Like, yeah. So she had to go. Boom.
That was exactly it. We always said that it was like the most bittersweet thing because we knew that they couldn't live apart from each other. It was very sad to see her go and him go so closely, but it was how it was supposed to be.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. So she's playing with your cat. You have a male cat?
No, we have 2 girl cats.
2 females. Okay. Are you planning on getting like a larger orange and white one?
No, but there's a stray cat that we feed outside, and I think it's a boy cat. I named him Tom Hanks, but I always say that I want to bring him in, and my boyfriend always says no. I don't want to bring him in.
Okay, I think you're gonna end up getting that. She's like playing with this male cat, and she keeps like saying, "Come on, it's okay, it's okay. Bring him in, it would be great."
Okay, I'll do that.
Do it. Okay, so for right now, what I want you to do in closing. Oh my God, so many things. I love your session. Thank you for letting me read you.
Thank you for reading.
You're welcome. Okay, so what I want you to do is, if I get anything else, I'll email you. First off, if you need me again, email me first. Okay, because just email me first. And then the next thing I want you to do is tonight, before you go to bed, I want you, while you're in that state of calming down, your phone is off, everything is off. I want you to go through each one of them and I want you to tell them thank you and that you love them.
I will.
Okay. And the next thing I want you to do is right now, when we get off this call, I want you to take a second. I want you to have a good breather and try to figure out what the hell just happened, because you're going to have this feeling of like, what? And then I want you to either have a good cry or just a good 30 seconds to go, and then move on with your day and enjoy it. It's going to feel you're going to go through all sorts of mood swings today, FYI. That's the thing. Okay.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
I know, but it'll be okay because that's things working themselves out. And then if you need me or if you have any questions, just email me. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for letting me read you. Thank you for letting me talk to them and give them thanks. You got it?
I will. And thank you for sharing your gift. It's really wonderful.
Anytime, baby dear. I love you, babes.
Love you. Bye. Bye.